Yep, and start.
Oh my god, my webcam's on.
On or off?
On.
It's a new game, so yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
I thought I disconnected it.
I don't
Guys, I
see.
noticed that none of you have changed. Oh no, I need to change your character names because your character sheets are still labelled like Ellie and
Jack P.
Jack and Alex.
Yeah, I'm Mitzi Ellie.
Are we streaming?
We
Got
are.
it open. That's good.
I've got it open.
Got it open.
Hello and welcome to Fledgling Tales, a weekly tabletop role-playing live stream brought to you by Silver Crow Media. I am your host Benjamin Mark, the long-suffering DM of this series that will never end. With me this week we have the wonderful co-host of Wasted Potential, our Drunken Advice podcast, Miss Ellie, surname redacted. We have a regular for Fledgling Tales, as well as the host of our upcoming film and television podcast, and a co-host on our upcoming history podcast. That would be the lovely Mr. Alex, surname redacted.
Hello.
And joining us live from the city of Glasgow, Scotland.
Yeah.
Making his grand return to Fledgling Tales after a season on hiatus. The host of Wasted Potential. It's the one, the only Mr. Jack Parkinson.
Hello.
Hang on, did you just call him the host of Wasted Potential?
Yes.
He's not the host of Wasted Potential.
He is now.
He's the drunk one of Wasted Potential.
A drunken host. One of these days, I will be the one asking the questions, and that will be good.
You will.
No, I'll be the one asking the questions around here. How are we doing, my lovely, lovely players?
Good.
Great. I'm tired. I'm so tired, Benji.
I don't care, I'm just polite.
I'm on my second cafetiere of coffee.
Whoa.
That's
the real
quite
stuff.
a lot of coffee.
It's a travel mug cafetiere.
Okay.
Not like
Okay.
full-fledged.
Yeah, I was figuring you're doing like your 8 cup or something, you know. 8 cups and 2 of them. That's good.
So, it's weird, guys. We don't appear to be playing Dungeons and Dragons. What's going on?
I know.
Something weird.
It's still Dungeons and Dragons, though, isn't it? I thought it was like a offset.
My understanding
No.
was that it's tabletop still, but it's not Dungeons
Oh.
and Dragons.
Well, the category is still Dungeons and Dragons because
Because it is. Deal with it.
but there's like 2 Call of Cthulhu things, and one of them is a game, and then there's another that's like the Call of Twilight.
Yeah.
So tough luck. We're fooling everyone who comes here.
Yep. Get fooled, boys.
We're gonna get sued for false advertising.
I love it.
Can't wait.
Oh yay. It's gonna be great.
So, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we are no longer playing
sweet,
Call of...
that's me.
No, God, no, we are playing Call of Cthulhu.
We are no longer playing Call of Cthulhu, right?
That lasted
That's
a really
it. That's
long time.
done.
Well
Thanks
done,
very
guys.
much for coming.
Excellent.
Game's
That's a
over.
wrap, folks. I'm going to take
Fun while it
a
lasted.
vacation now.
Please don't leave.
Yes, so we are without Caitlin this week, and I heard voices downstairs in my house, but I don't know what they said. Anyway.
It's the ghost. He's come for your soul. That's not what ghosts do. That's demons I've made. Oh.
We've changed it up. We've changed our roster up for this one. It's like it's nothing bad. You know, we've not been Yoko Ono'd or anything. Silver Crow Media is still very much a thing. This is just like changing your roster up to suit a specific Pokemon gym.
I fucking murdered Caitlin and James.
Or
I can't believe they're dead. Sometimes I can still hear their voices.
That's taking Yoko Ono to a
Stop
whole
saying they're
level.
dead.
old man. I'm still kind of sort of building the
Good. Good. This is going really well already.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Body.
Shall I keep you all entertained with a story?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a
Or
story,
you could do
really,
a button and
but...
strip down to like a sparkly bikini or something.
See, that's not so good without visuals. Maybe it's better without visuals. I recently on Netflix I binged an anime because I'm that kind of person. I'm
Which one?
ridiculous. It was Devilman Crybaby, a new Netflix one, and
Oh yeah.
Lord, it was weird. I'm not sure if I recommend it because I had a very interesting experience watching it, and it left me with a lot of conflicting feelings. So if you want to feel a bit broken and sort of just not sure what just happened to you, go watch Devilman Crybaby. It's only 10 episodes and they're like anime length, so they're quite short. And it is one hell of a roller coaster.
Well, that's just me every day, so I'm not going to do that.
I also see that Netflix has released a live-action Netflix original film of Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
I
Yes, they
know.
have. They have.
I'm meaning to watch it because I've seen like screen caps of it and it looks amazing.
I mean, I watched the Netflix Death Note live
Oh,
action.
Oh god,
God.
no, we don't talk about that. That doesn't
I
exist.
have never seen an anime.
An
You're-
anime.
That's,
I love
that's
Yu-Gi-Oh.
fine. See, I hadn't, and then I did.
You should totally watch Kill the Kill. Kill the Kill
is the first anime I saw, and Lord, that was one hell of an
that's not-
introduction. That was
That's
It's
not good.
amazing.
my very favorite anime is definitely Attack on Titan because I'm like vanilla boy, but Attack on Titan is
You should watch
outstanding.
Seven Deadly Sins, which is a Netflix original anime.
That is also okay. It was good. I enjoyed watching that. I guess. What else have I watched? I've seen Death
I mean,
Note.
I watched it in English, and I thought it was hilarious in English.
Yeah, I watched it in English too because it's difficult to have stuff on in the background when you have to read the subtitles. So
True.
I
Okay, should we just play some Call of Cthulhu?
No.
Or,
Have you finished building
do
the
like an
scene?
idea.
over anime.
should we do an I Digress episode on anime? Wait, I made notes over lunch. I made housekeeping notes over lunch
For Call of Cthulhu, right?
for Silver Crow Media.
Oh, good. Okay.
No, I
For
preemptively.
anime.
I preempted this conversation on anime, so I made notes on anime
Yeah.
for this Call of Cthulhu live stream.
You always have to be prepared for anime.
No, you don't. That's the whole fun of anime.
I don't understand anime.
You haven't seen
Well-
any.
Wait, no, one of my friends forced me to watch an episode of this one called Parasite, and it scarred me, so...
I think. Well, my opinion on anime in general is that you can't watch an episode because it's so weird. You can't-
Ruber suggested anime literally anything starting with Fate. I don't know any anime starting with Fate.
I think
Oh no,
there's
there's
one
like a
just called
series.
Fate,
There's like
yeah.
a series of ones called Fate.
Never seen any of them.
Okay, so Silver Crow Media housekeeping.
Does Avatar count as an
Firstly,
anime?
we have 2 podcasts up. We have 2 episodes of our podcast I Digress, which is a podcast about anything and everything. The first one is James, myself, and Jack discussing Mass Effect Andromeda. The second episode is Caitlin and I discussing writing. They're both up on our YouTube channel, which is Silver Crow Media, all one word. And they're really good. Not biased because I'm in both of them, but
They're
they are,
terrible.
they are genuinely good podcasts. You should go check them out. Each one's about 40 minutes long. Well, the first one's close.
First one's about an hour.
Second one's slightly truer.
But they're podcasts, so you can just put them on in the background and go about your daily business.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Please do it. Please do that. You don't. You can put it on mute if you want.
I might get
Don't-
shot. I might get shot for this second note because the editor of this is currently in stream with us. Wasted Potential first episode coming this Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
So for those, so our next podcast, so coming Friday the 3rd of March, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday the 2nd of March.
Second
sorry.
of March.
will be our first episode of Wasted Potential, which is Jack and Ellie's Drunken Advice podcast.
Yes.
Jack's Drunken Advice podcast and Ellie trying to keep it all together.
Just a little bit of a note about that, because we've had some questions from the Discord and stuff and from other places, but we won't be answering those on Friday because this was one which was recorded a little while ago. There will be answers to those questions coming in the future, but this one is just purely questions that we put together ourselves that we found from places. Well, that Ellie found from places. Yeah. So
Ellie needs to clean her browser history after that.
If you're expecting your question to be answered on Wasted Potential, it will be. I guarantee that. Just watch that space, but just not this week.
And if you've got any questions for future Wasted Potential, DM them to me on Discord, tweet us at Twitter, or, just contact us on one of the various social media.
We'll put up a Google form for people to submit questions.
That's a good idea.
Coming Monday, I am going to launch WordPress for Silver Crow Media. Don't know how
Social Crow Media?
Shut up. Don't know how regularly that's going to have input, but we do want to expand kind of into a writing side of things as well. So watch out for just stuff on there that'll come up on our social media and whatnot. If you are wanting to follow us on social media, we are Silver Crow Media on Tumblr and YouTube. We are at Silver Crow Inc. That's INC on Twitter. And of course, you're already watching us on Twitch, so give us a follow there. And most importantly, could you tell your friends about us? If you have friends who enjoy podcasts, nerdy things, pop culture in general, just give us a...
Big ups.
Just give us a follow. Tell your friends about us. Send them the links. It'll be well worth their time. So, shall we talk a bit about Call of Cthulhu?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Alex is very loud in my ear then.
Sorry.
So... Call of Cthulhu is not a Dungeons and Dragons thing. It's a completely different system to Dungeons and Dragons. They have nothing in common, pretty much. This is a system based on the works of 1920s pulp horror author H.P. Lovecraft, who wrote a bunch of stories about encountering the cosmic horror of the universe and being driven mad by it. So first and foremost, I am going to issue a warning for light to medium gore throughout Fledgling Tales from now on. This is a horror system. There will be horror. Because it's for public consumption, I am going to reduce it, dial it back from where I usually play it, but there will be some light to medium gore and horror throughout this campaign, so just kind of keep your eye out for that. This is a D100 system, so there's no D20 rolling. If the players want to do something, they roll against their skills, trying to score under the level of the skill they have. The setting for this campaign is going to be the United States of America in 1935, so right in the depths of the Great Depression. We will be starting the campaign in a town called Arkham, Massachusetts, which is a favorite of Lovecraft's. And we will travel across the United States from there. And finally, our first adventure is one from the core book. It is called The Edge of Darkness. It is a very nice introduction to the system. And so, do my players have any questions before we continue?
Yeah, is there a Stephen King tabletop that's set exclusively in Maine?
I do not know.
I'm going to go create one.
Okie dokie. Good question.
That's the only question.
About the thing we're currently doing.
Yeah.
Only question.
Jack, Alex, any questions?
Well,
I'm
we've
good.
mentioned this recently. Not recently. We mentioned this when we were doing character creation, that there's a much higher probability of characters maybe not making it all the way through when we hit Call of
Yes,
Cthulhu.
please don't get attached to these guys as characters.
Yeah, that was just the point I wanted to make.
Please do. Your attachments to the characters is whether they live or die. So the more you like a character, the more likely they are to live.
Yeah, Call of Cthulhu is very weird, as in kind of the winning comes from your character dying or being driven unplayably mad, just because that is very much a reflection of H.P. Lovecraft's style. this isn't a game about being big damn heroes like D&D or...
It's a game about seducing Cthulhu.
Ellie, I'm going to ban you from this game.
Do it,
I
Ellie.
want so much coffee.
This is a game about humanity coming into contact with the dark world that
And seducing it.
lies beneath the surface. And yeah, sure, tentacle porn. Why not? I will issue a kind of a warning about content. I know I've done a gore warning and stuff. This is 1935. I tend to play my Cthulhu very realistically. I'm not going to go down the full route, but there may be racial things that come up, especially in some of the later campaigns I have planned. There will definitely be some sexism that pops up. This is kind of the warning that pops up at the beginning of Mafia 3. Here at Silver Crow Media, we do not endorse sexism and racism. However, we are aware that this game takes place. They were very real issues in the United States.
And it also takes place in the United States, which even now has not exactly got a good track record with sexism and racism.
And I think the thing is, we can discuss this off stream and potentially in a future podcast. I feel we'd be doing an injustice to the history if we try to sanitize it.
Agreed.
But we won't. We're not going to go too far. So, if Benji's not going to start using the N word, is what I'm trying to say.
No, because I'm not going to run the. There is a campaign in the book called Dead Man Stomp, which takes place in 1925 in New Orleans. A lot of the NPCs are black in that, and there is a text box in the book telling you how to deal with racism. And there's a box beneath that telling you how to differ the game if people are playing black PCs.
Jeez.
So yes, we do not endorse racism and sexism, but we are not exactly going to shy away from them if they become pertinent in the game.
No.
So, without further ado, I think we should do a brief introduction of characters. So, Jack, as kind of our returning savior, would you like to tell us briefly about your character?
Okay, my character is a physician, a doctor. He's a little bit older than the other two. He's 37 years old, and his name is Harold Armitage. He was born in Buckinghamshire and raised there, so he's kind of posh. He fought briefly in the Great War, was a medic, and then went on to become a doctor and so on, and settled in the States a few years ago, which is where he now properly lives. Yep, that's my character.
Okay, Ellie?
My character is Mitzi, no last name, because the day I create a last name for a character is the day I die. She is 25. She's an accountant, and was born in Arkansas. I'm still trying to think up most of her backstory. She's really good with guns for some reason, probably living in Arkansas. And she's obviously kind of got a bit of a chip on her shoulder, given the fact that she is a woman in a very male-dominated world. Yeah.
Hi, Alex. I was hoping you would naturally take over there, but Alex, why don't you...
Just that awkward pause.
Sorry, I've been loading up my character sheet. I'm playing Nathan Haddon. He's a naval officer. He is 28 years old. Joined the Navy after completing his degree in archaeology from Miskatonic. He was born in New Haven, Connecticut, and yeah.
Sorry, is someone
That's Alex's microphone.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to hold it away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell is happening? Cthulhu has come already.
Okay, so this campaign starts as you are called to the hospital bedside of a dying man, Dr. Rupert Merriweather, an elderly gentleman fast succumbing to cancer. What are your individual relationships with Dr. Rupert Merriweather? Jack?
Harold Armitage met Dr. Rupert Merriweather at a kind of an expo at his university where he's a researcher, and was intrigued by one of the papers he was presenting there and went to discuss it with him, and they just kind of became firm friends after that and kept in correspondence, would meet up to discuss ideas and things like that.
Thank you, Jack. Alex, how does Nathan know
Nate
Dr. Merriweather?
taught by Dr. Merriweather in his Egyptology class.
Thank you. Just to note, Dr. Merriweather is a professor of Egyptology at Miskatonic College, which is the university in the town of Arkham. Ellie, how does Mitzi know Dr. Rupert Merriweather?
This is all Benji's fault. I would just like to point this out. I had a perfectly reasonable explanation, and Benji was like, "No, you've got to go with the fun one." Well, Mitzi has a degree in accounting, where she majored in accounting and minored in Egyptology. And while she was minoring in Egyptology, she became Dr. Rupert Merriweather's mistress. And then it gets worse. And then, because obviously she majored in accountancy, I'm also his accountant and his other mistress's accountant. So it's a complicated relationship, to say the very least.
Thank you.
All Benji's fault.
You receive word of his telegraph or personal courier, so either a letter will have passed across your desk, or you will have been directly contacted and told that he is dying and has requested your presence. You learn that he's been confined to a room at St. Mary's Hospital, Arkham, adjacent to the Miskatonic College campus, and he wishes to visit him on a Thursday at 1 p.m. He specifies which Thursday, of course. He gives you all about a week to turn up, given that some of you will not be living close to central Massachusetts. On the Thursday in question, you arrive at St. Mary's Hospital, and the information desk in the main lobby provides direction to Merriweather's private third-floor room, where you all are. You all arrive about the same time, and you do the awkward kind of know-you-first gesture to enter the room.
Yeah.
Hang on. As a know-you-first, this is a 35, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
This is in 1935. There's two men, I'm a woman. They should be letting me in first, don't you?
Yeah, but one of them's British, so he's super awkward about everything.
Yeah, but he'd still the British are even more polite. They'd still let me in first.
Sure, you get into the room first. You happy?
Yeah, that's going to be my only advantage as a woman in this campaign.
Oh, yeah. Just wait till we get to the one set in the south.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I was born in Arkansas. That's in the south, isn't it?
Yeah.
Arkansas.
So the
Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas!
You find the door to his room open, you all enter, and you find the bedridden man, who's at the top of the screen, engaged with two other visitors, his grieving 62-year-old wife, Agnes, and his sneering weasel-like son, 35-year-old Bertrand.
I'm gonna punch him.
Please ignore that Bertrand is holding a large...
Bertrand is ready to kill.
Are you dead yet?
I awkwardly approach the bedside.
Swaying your hips.
Also, trying not to look at the wife.
Does the wife know, Benji?
It's 1935, she probably does.
Yeah, also, he has more than one mistress. He has at least two.
I also step up, but I keep a considerable, distance.
It's not like I'm sitting on his lap.
No, but
Nate
I'm just
is
being
confused.
respectful, seeing as you've gone first. I'm like, no, after you.
Nate is confused as to why he's here, being that he is just like one of Dr. Merriweather's students.
Yeah.
He's just like, why?
It's like, why am I here?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, flattered, but
Yeah.
not seen you in like 7 years, mate. Rupert kind of weakly looks up from the bed and he's like, oh, you came. Harold, Mitzi, Lieutenant. I'd like to introduce you to Agnes and my son Bertrand. The wife gives like a hello. Her voice is gone because she's sad and whatnot. And Bertrand kind of sneers like a fucking weasel, and he's like, "Oh, hello."
What do weasels
Hi.
sound like when they're fucking? That's what I want to know.
They sound like this, Jack.
Hello.
They kind of sound like a male Janice from Friends.
Oh my god. I respectfully greet them. I catch myself from saying sorry for your loss because he's not dead yet.
Still alive on the bed. Jack isn't a very good doctor, and on many occasions has pronounced someone dead before they are even visibly close to death.
They just spoke to me. Anyway, I respectfully greet Bertrand and Agnes.
Yes, Agnes.
I don't look Agnes in the eyes.
Oh, she knows.
It's a bit
Nathan is still confused as to why he's here.
He's very polite though. He just like nods.
I love
That's
the
a
fact
salute.
you're
Yeah,
all
pretty much.
standing, what, like,
Right.
hang on, 3 meters from the bed.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm confused. I don't know why I'm there.
Yeah, but you might still get a bit closer.
No.
After pleasantries are exchanged, Rupert turns to his wife and son. Agnes, Bertrand, could you leave me and my friends for a moment? I must have a private word with them.
No, it's not the first time you said that.
Wow, he is brazen if he is bringing his mistress to the home when his
Oh,
wife
can
is.
you give us a minute?
Bertrand and Agnes agree. Bertrand
I'm also the
Slight-
accountant, it would make sense. Sorry.
Bertrand looking slightly more reluctant to leave, but they both leave, and Rupert turns to Nathan and says, "Could you make sure the door is closed?"
Yep. Go do that.
After he ensures that the door is shut, Rupert looks at you and says, "Gather round."
We gather.
No, Nathan, you can come slightly closer than that. I'm an old
If you
man.
insist.
Oh, God.
I must.
Mounts him.
My time is short. I can't have you making randy jokes, or I might die before my monologue is over.
Sorry. I check his
Good.
pulse.
He has a pulse still.
Still alive. Still alive.
You're a
Sorry,
bit of
I'm-
a shit
I'm
doctor,
gonna-
aren't you?
I'm going to be a bit more serious about this now.
You must forgive an old man's folly, for the task I have for you is not easy. In the days of my youth, I and some fellow students at Miskatonic became involved in what we believed was a simple exploration of the occult. Led by a professor called Marion Allen, we purchased a farmhouse a few miles west of here. There, we conducted seances and other psychic research without worrying about the privacy and stigma of dabbling in the occult. However, our last experiment ended unexpectedly, as we summoned some evil force into the world. Young fools as we were, instead of attempting to expel the thing, we abandoned the old house, confident that the magic that we had brought, that had brought the evil into the world, would keep it confined to the vacant farmhouse. He pauses to suck in some deep lungfuls of air, giving you guys a moment to reflect on he summoned some dark evil and then promptly ran away.
I mean, same. Like, you're not going to stick around, are you?
Can we ask him any questions?
you open your mouth to, and he kind of waves. He's like, "I'll answer questions at the end."
Oh,
A
such
true professor
lecturer.
till the last.
God.
However, the magic that holds the creature at bay lasts only as long as the casters live. I am the last of the group, and I fear that upon my imminent death, the thing will go free and wreak havoc on the beautiful Massachusetts countryside I have called home. For
I'll let it.
62 years, I think. Yeah, 62.
He's on his way out, guys.
He gestures to a box on the bedside table. Take the box. All the aid I can offer you lies within. You must find a way to send that thing back to where it came from. You must see that this is done. Kind of reaches out, and then his hand drops, like too weak to hold it dramatically. I know this is a great deal to ask you, but you must do this for me.
I have a question.
Yes, my dear.
Why didn't you start making plans when maybe the first one of you died?
Because we were still quite young when the first one of us died.
And the second one?
The first two of us to die. The first one, Robert Mencken, died but a month after the ritual was complete. Harold was the next to go, dying 3 or 4 months after.
Do you think they're related?
No. They...
Maybe that's what we're meant to be investigating. This old man is just confused.
and he points again to the box. He's like, "You don't have much time."
One more question. It'll be very
Okay.
quick. Why didn't you maybe start thinking about this then 5 years earlier? You're 62, you're not exactly a young man.
I don't think that would have made much of a difference.
Well, no, but if you started making plans the 5 years earlier...
What's done is done. He's made a mistake. I don't think questions like that, in his frail state, are going to do any good for anyone.
Yeah, well, as his accountant, he's made some very poor decisions in his life, and I think this is the worst.
I concede that. I nod.
We're just roasting this old man while he's dying.
I am a fool, but maybe you can make sure that this fool does not cost many innocents their lives.
What's in the box, Doctor?
What's in the box?
Give me a moment, because you're meant to have instinctively taken the box. Hang on. He's meant to have died by this point.
The fucking box.
What's in the box?
You're meant to have just grabbed the box and caused him to die. Give me a moment.
Oh, right.
I love
Triggering
7.
effect.
What's in the box?
I've never seen
There's
it.
too much to explain. It would take too long.
Nathan rolls his eyes and takes the box.
Thank you, Alex.
Oh my god, you've just killed this old man!
As soon as Nathan takes possession of the box, but before he can open it, the ailing Rupert is choked by a sudden spasm. He doubles up, groans, and then coughs forth a great gout of blood and tissue, splattering any investigator near the nightstand. So, Nathan.
Oh, great.
Oh, that's a shame.
Then Rupert falls into a coma.
Okay.
Good
All
job!
investigators-
What's happened?
I
You're
am-
Hang on.
apparently a shit doctor.
Hang on.
I am.
All investigators present must roll a sanity check, except Jack because he's a
Except me.
doctor.
Yeah.
How do you roll a sanity? I haven't
So
rolled-
you go
Oh,
to your character sheet
there we go.
and roll
Oh
sanity.
dear.
So Ellie is losing some sanity.
Yay!
Alex,
Is that one?
give me a moment.
Yeah, I think it is. Was it the one by sanity points?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sanity then.
Okay, both of you, can you know the little tick the little selection boxes on your sanity,
Mm-hmm.
please drop it down by 1 point. So you've lost 1 point of sanity.
Okay.
Someone should call for a doctor.
I was about to do that, but you told me to wait.
Sorry, I needed to make the roll first.
I
Go ahead.
immediately called for the doctor and began doing doctor things to him because the listeners may not know, but I, Jack, am not a doctor, whereas Harold would know what to do in this situation. So Harold is going to do doctor
Well,
things.
If he's in a coma,
Yeah.
he's still got a pulse. Right.
Yeah, but he also just like vomited blood all over
Yeah.
Nathan.
Yeah, true.
He's probably not long for this world.
Oh no, Nathan, you stay the hell away from me. You're covered in blood.
Nathan is just like, could I get a towel?
The room quickly fills with interns, nurses, and Rupert's concerned wife and son. In the way the investigate, you are all asked to leave by a senior doctor. He's like, I think it's best if you are.
I turn to the
No
wife.
towel, that's fine.
Go to the information desk and someone will give you a towel.
I turn to the wife and I say, "See you at the will."
Oh, fuck.
Oh shit.
Bertrand's like, they are too overcome with him vomiting blood and comaing.
Man.
Despite the hospital's best efforts, the senior doctor comes and finds you about an hour or so later, and he quietly informs you that Rupert, despite the hospital's best efforts, has passed away.
Well,
roll
we
for
should
grief.
we should go into that farmhouse then.
I agree. I think we should at least check this out. It could have been the ravings of a dying man, but we should at least see.
Oh, should we not see what's in the box?
Yeah, Nathan.
Should you
I don't
not
wanna
introduce yourselves to one another?
Oh, I feel like that happened with the door thing. Or do you want us to do that again?
Yeah, no, that would have happened when we walked to the door. I don't think we all just awkwardly walked in silence.
Okay, so you have introduced yourselves. So did you say you opened the box?
I asked Nathan
I
what's in
don't.
the box.
You don't.
You coward.
Don't.
I ain't opening that box. The last person who, he vomited blood over me.
All right,
I
hand it to
take
me
the
and I'll
box.
open- yeah, you take.
Wait, hang on. Do you want to open the
I
box?
hand
Yeah,
it
sure,
to the
I'll open it.
doctor.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Right,
open the box.
Harold's opening the box.
Sorry.
Inside, you find a yellowed envelope containing the deed to a house and a key to its lock.
Ah,
The deed confirms the address to be a small farmhouse a few miles away from Arkham.
here's the house then. We better get moving.
Hang on, there's more in the box.
Oh,
So
right.
there's quite a lot in this box.
Okay.
There is a small sarcophagus-shaped gold box of ancient design, and a slim journal bound in leather.
I dare you to open the other box.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to flick through the journal. See if I can find
Give me
anything
a moment.
interesting.
Coward.
Where's the journal? Where's the journal? Where's the journal? Where's the journal? Reading the journal. Bound in plain black leather, the journal entries date from June 1881 to March of 1882. Although the ink is faded, no English roll is necessary to understand it. It only requires 4 hours reading time to read the entire journal.
I'm not going to read it just now. I think we're going to get moving to the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool. How did any of you drive here?
Yes, I did. I brought my car. I have a motor car.
Okay, so you drive. Oh, I have like a little map.
Ooh.
Ah, I love that.
Ah.
Nice.
It's good. It's good.
So you are here in Arkham.
Yep.
It's about 2 kilometers to the village of Endurance, and then about a half-mile further to Ross's Corner, the farmhouse listed on the
Okay.
deed.
I like these names.
Totally walk it. But we'll drive, I think.
Okay, so you drive down to Ross's Corner. You pass through the village of Endurance. There's not very much there.
Very not.
It is almost like a hamlet. There was an open general store.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm going to guess you don't stop, but you move straight to the farmhouse.
Yep. Unless one of my compatriots told me to. I'm gonna keep
Nope.
driving.
No, I've got my guns.
So do I.
Okay.
Are you carrying your guns with you?
Yeah.
Your rifle?
I'm a naval officer, of course I do.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Alex would, but He's got a rifle slung. An accountant
Yeah.
with a rifle. Okay, no, fair
And a
enough.
handgun.
That must be really threatening for the wifey there. See you at the will with the rifle slung over your back.
You will have not carried the rifle into the room. You'll have checked it at reception.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't walk
Cool,
into the
cool,
fucking
cool.
hospital room carrying weapons.
The ancient farmhouse sits atop a hill visible from the road and about 100 yards east of said road. It is of early 18th century saltbox design with a high-peaked roof and windows sealed by sagging shutters. Its single story has 2 rooms with a windowless attic and presumably a cellar below. As you approach the farmhouse, the lintel of the front door is covered in carved symbols of a strange nature. Did any of you put points into occult?
I don't think so.
Um,
Don't think
No.
so.
No. Is
no, but
occult
you
like
start off with 5%.
Yeah, I've got a 5%.
I mean,
occult.
you can attempt to make an occult roll if you so wish.
Oh, let's do it.
Can we all do it?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't work.
Hang on.
Nil.
No.
There's symbols here.
What did Caitlin fucking win?
Rugby, Scotland won.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the final score?
Dunno.
Sports.
Yay, sports!
Yeah, of the scant readings you've made about that you have perused in your time about the occult, none of it is relevant to the carved symbols.
Yeah. Oh well.
Probably should have put some points in that.
25 to 13.
The locked front door opens easily with the key, which accompanied the deed.
I guess I've still got the box, haven't I?
You can feel free. You don't have to go in immediately if you want. Would you like to poke around the outside or?
Yeah,
do a quick check around the perimeter, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, could you all give me spot hidden?
Ooh. Ah shit! What? Oh, 25.
Where is it? Spot hidden. Damn it! I put points into that one as well.
I didn't.
Okay.
God, we're all useless. If I got Jack's roll, I would have made it.
Okay. So you, finding nothing of any interest, you enter the house and into the front room. It looks like a small house, only 2 rooms. And let me just transfer your characters across. I must say, guys, you're being far more efficient than any other Cthulhu team I've run.
Good. Yeah.
Just wait. Oh, you. Just wait. You'll regret it.
See, I don't want to sit down for 4 hours and read this journal, but
Do it like another time, maybe.
can I
feel
do
like-
something like a little perusal of it or something, just to see if I can get the gist of it? Like, I don't want to read in depth.
No, I'll allow you to do that.
Yeah. Just to see like what they did and what happened and things.
So yeah, you flick through. The journal contains kind of a diary of sorts. From your kind of quick perusal, you learn that the friends, the 6 men, including Rupert Merriweather, playfully called themselves the Dark Brotherhood.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
That
Rupert.
sounds friendly.
Rupert was a. Yeah, anyway.
There is you see a lengthy entry detailing the final ceremony that Rupert mentioned.
Can I be relaying this information to the other 2 while I'm
Yeah.
flicking through?
Would you like to read out that entry about the thing that allegedly summoned
Sure.
this thing into
Yeah.
the world?
Yeah.
Okay, so you come across one of interest, and so it's we begin the ceremony as Marion instructed, according to that described in his book, De Vermis Mysteris. A fire face and a pentagram chalked on the floor, marked with appropriate symbols, and illustrated and illuminated by 2 black tapers placed near the center flanking. Placed near the center, flanking the piece of amber with its entrapped spirit. The others sit in a circle while I, the designated watcher, who guards the malevolent spirits, sit in the far corner of the room.
Good job, Rupert.
Marion throws a handful of powder in the fire, producing an evil-smelling smoke and dampening the flames, which now burn a sputtering green and brown.
Evil
Those seated
smelling.
Yeah, it's just foul
Those-
smelling, I guess.
Those seated begin the Latin chant Marion Allen has transcribed from his book. After nearly 2 hours, I see a trail of smoke circling up from the piece of amber. Its surface seems to be bubbling, melting. Could this be it? Have we finally achieved success? I can see a form. It is the following day. We have finished up with our plans and have sworn a pact never to speak of what happened last night. We have satisfactorily explained the death of Robert, and in some manner the madness of Harold. The sheriff accepts the explanation of a carriage accident. We planned it well. Robert's neck was broken in the fall, we told him. Harold struck his head on a rock when the horse's legs broke, and the carriage rolled. Would it be that it was only that? For the rest of us, we will be forever changed by what we experienced last night. The thing formed in the center of the pentagram, shapeless, nearly invisible. Its terrible voice should have given us a clue but we were foolish. It spoke. Then Marion cast that damn powder on the spirit. The dust of Ibn Ghazi, he called it. And that's when we could see it. Words cannot describe the faceless thing with 1,000 mores. It roiled and bubbled, never fully revealing itself. So terrifying was its aspect that I sat as though frozen to the floor, the pen falling from my nerveless fingers. Cecil and Marianne seemed as lifeless as I, while a short, sharp cry issued from Crawford's mouth. Robert, however, rose to his feet, and before anyone could stop him, stepped forwards as though to embrace our horrible guest. With its arms, or those appendages that seemed most like arms, it took hold of poor Robert and twisted his head around as though it was a doll's head.
Ew.
The lifeless corpse was then thrown back in Harold's lap, and that's when he began that damned shrieking, the shrieking that hadn't stopped even after we handed him over to the sheriff's men. We still had a chance, apparently. Marion now believes that if we kept our wits, we could have... Yes?
I think Ellie's just having a
No.
coughing fit.
I'm actually having a coughing fit. I'm
Okay.
not implying something.
Sorry,
Sorry.
continue. I'm riveted. This is great.
Our wits, we could have reversed the chant and eventually forced back the creature to wherever it came from. But Crawford panicked, and mistakenly believing that it would dispel the creature, reached forward and destroyed part of the pentagram, breaking its effectiveness. Released from that binding symbol, the thing, with a screech that only could have been unholy satisfaction, fled the house, disappearing out a window as a roaring, screaming wind of boiling colours. Marion believes that the thing could still be destroyed, or at least dispelled, but none of us who remain have the stomach for such an undertaking. It is believed that the spell we cast inextricably binds the thing to the house, and it is true that when we went back a few days later to retrieve our things, we heard it bumping in the attic over our heads. The warding signs so cheerfully carved by Marion Allen during better times that seem so long ago, apparently are effective and bar the thing entry, except into the Arctic of the house.
Well. Is that it? That's the end of it?
Yeah, that's the end of that entry.
Well, this sure is spooky.
You can say that again.
This sure is spooky.
So, after kind of reading that chilling entry, you take in the front room for the first time properly.
Yep.
Okay.
The front room of the house is dirty and long untouched. Dust lies thickly on the mantel and empty shelves, while dead leaves and detritus cover the floor. The wooden floor is badly warped and stained, the result of water leaking through the roof and ceiling. Rot has eaten away at the old couch and matching wing chairs, perhaps they are the source of a faint foul odor in the room.
So, Marion believes there's still a chance that it can be dispelled, and it's tied to this house. How on earth would we go about figuring out how to do that? If any of this is even true, and I'm not completely convinced
how
that it isn't.
Can any of this be true?
Well, I mean,
There's
someone
only one way to
dies.
find out.
Or going to the attic?
Hell yeah.
I suppose.
Can you give me 2 seconds, folks?
Uh-huh.
But no, you keep role-playing and stuff, but just don't, expect me to try and
Yeah.
propel the plot forward.
I suppose.
fine.
I suppose we could get into the attic. What would that? Would do you think?
Well,
we're
surely
gonna
if
find
something
anything?
evil has lived there for God knows how many years, it would have left a mark.
I suppose.
And
Well, it would
I
probably still
guess,
be there, wouldn't it?
well, the guy's died, so surely it can
So
be
it's
let out
been
now.
loosed. I assume that if he's died, I wonder if it's still tied to this house.
Oi,
Interesting.
The
Cthulhu!
root's keeping it in.
Cthulhu, you here?
Possibly. Yeah, they did carve runes, but it flew out of the house and then came back. I don't know.
As the journal said, Marion Allen believed that the warding spells and the nature of the spell that they did binds it to the house, so it can leave the house, it can leave the building, but it must always return to the building. It can't. There's probably an exclusion zone. There's only so far it can reach before it almost gets rubber banded back.
I assume that must be the case even when the curse has been not the curse, the binding powers of the living people has left. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Now that Rupert has died, would that still be the case? Is it still tied to this house?
I guess the runes work whether or not Rupert's alive.
Wait, hang on, guys. Hang on. Shh. Do you hear that?
Jack, can you make me a listen roll, please?
Listen roll.
Alex, check your Discord.
Oh shit. Anyway. Listen roll. Right.
Yeah.
Law, library, listen.
Uh,
No.
I
No.
hear it.
Try as you might, Jack, you can't hear anything.
No, I can't hear anything.
There's a scurrying noise, almost.
Scurry.
Or a bumping.
Or both. Look at us, we're so good at descriptions. Do we know which part is under the floor, you said?
It's coming from the cellar.
I thought
Well-
it was stuck in here. Is there a cellar?
Most 18th century farmhouses have
Yeah.
cellars.
Well, let's check the cellar. Could be a vagrant.
I'm not sure it's a vagrant.
Oh, there's only one way to find out.
My Winchester is in my hands.
I'm
by the
going to
way.
look for the entrance to the cellar because I presume it's actually outside, but I'm not sure.
You find the stairs to the cellar in the back room.
Okay, cool.
Let me give you a description of the back room. So in the corner there is an entrance. There is a flight of steps leading down to the cellar. There is also this part. I know that your character's on there, but you see the portion of shadow up in the top corner?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Above that is a hatch that you conclude probably leads up to the attic.
Okay.
Okay, so
Wait, hang on. You have to go into the cellar to get to the attic.
no. You see, there's a weird
Thing,
yeah that.
That's the attic, and
So
that's
in
cellar.
one corner is
The cellar.
the hatch to the attic, and the other is the access to the cellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really confused then. I thought it was a really weird house design.
Evidence. There's also a back door slightly ajar.
Oh, what was the point of locking this house then, Rupert? You muppet. Anyway.
Near to,
Something could have escaped.
evidence points to recent occupation. The dust has been kicked up, and fresh footprints can be seen.
Footprints.
The large fireplace contains the embers of a fire not long dead. Besides the fireplace, a thick new wool blanket has been tossed. And nearby that is an empty can of Campbell's pork and beans.
Can I investigate the fireplace and make a deduction about how long? Like a very like.
Give me an idea roll.
How?
It's I think it's up in characteristics and rolls.
Yes.
Whoa.
Given kind of the slight warmth coming off the embers, and the fact that traces of the source of the pork and beans are still liquid, you'd say that this kind of has been used in the last 12 hours or so.
I relate the information to the group.
Well, it sounds like a
me.
vagrant to me.
Nearby the can of beans is a penny box of wooden matches, half empty, a can opener whose cutting edge approximates the sharp edges left on the pork and beans can, a dull jackknife, a dirty spoon, the stub of a candle, and wrinkled pictures of various attractive ladies in advertisements.
Welp.
Oh my.
Can I pocket the matches?
Yeah.
I'd like to.
Jack would also like to pocket the pictures.
I sneer at the pictures and go, vulgar, or something.
Oh, you're
No.
British, aren't you?
They're like completely innocent pictures. They're pictures of young ladies in like newspaper adverts.
Yeah, but I know what this guy's about. Vulgar.
Can I pick up the can opener?
Yeah.
Cool. I have a can opener now.
Do we have like an inventory section or something?
Inventory.
Not really. It's kind of what you would.
Oh, adventuring gear and other possessions.
Yeah, it's kind of more specifically
Yeah.
what you think you'd be carrying at that
exactly.
time.
Can opener.
Well, I will.
So yeah,
break it down.
add stuff that you've picked up, but don't worry about having like a specific inventory.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
I say that we check the cellar. So that's where the sounds are coming from. Possibly the vagrant's still here. We can ask about the place.
I agree.
Good.
Let's do it.
Yes. Thank you.
Just give me a second.
Come on, Jack, stop being so nice to the woman. 1935.
Is that what chat is saying?
Huh?
Is that what chat is saying?
That's what Ellie's saying.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so all of you going into the cellar.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you.
I slot myself between the two men.
Okay.
Guess Nathan's
So you
going first then.
Sorry, Nathan.
Nathan doesn't care. He has his gun. He's good.
Okay, so you creep down into the cellar.
I clicked the safety off my gun, by the way.
Okay.
I say wise. That's what I say.
I just like the idea that I've just pulled out the rifle just to like one up you.
I have a handgun,
have
but
a
I don't
rifle.
use it.
Yeah, but you've only pulled out your
I'll be
gun.
right back, guys.
Wait, hang on. Do you have a rifle? Are you holding your rifle or your handgun?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. I think
Also
Winchester
check the
is in my
Winchester
hands.
interception.
Always
Yeah.
in my hands.
we couldn't stop laughing at the gun that I got. I've got a Martini Henry as my rifle, and a Colt New Service as my handgun.
I've got a Luger. So that's nice.
I have a Winchester 1895, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, and a Colt M1911, which is a standard. So
Standard semi-auto, isn't it?
Mhm.
Neat. Neat.
it's a US Army gun.
Yeah.
I'm a lieutenant. in the
Yeah,
Navy.
but my true weapon against the unknown forces of evil is my accountancy skills.
I thought you were going to say your can opener, but
No, that's just against you.
if you do some role play, I'll say something like, "So, Nathan, what made you join the Navy after getting a degree in archaeology?"
Couldn't afford to pay my college debt, so I went to Navy school and did a master's course in naval history. So
Outstanding.
Yeah.
And then stuck with it. Stuck with the Navy.
Yeah, totally. I made the rank of lieutenant, so yeah,
Yes. Master.
it's going quite well.
Excellent.
Mitzi is very confused about why this conversation is happening in the cellar.
Well, we're going down the steps, I suppose.
Mitzi,
Yeah.
Mitzi is starting to think she chose the wrong companions.
Mitzi is confused.
Okay, so you enter the cellar. It's dark. It's a long, narrow room, presently empty. Could you all make me spot hidden rolls, please?
Come on, we've had one success so
Is
far.
it
It's
super
not
dark?
very much.
Because maybe if it's really dark, I'd like to light a match.
Light is coming down from behind you.
Okay.
Guys, look what I
I'll
rolled.
check
I
the-
want to die.
I only see a percentage.
Yeah, no, if you hover over where it says roll 0, you can spot.
Ellie
I
rolled
see,
one over
right.
the-
Oh, that's a shame. Oh,
Okay.
Blind, apparently.
yep.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't like the look of that.
Look at what.
Benji just rolled
Benji's
a 1 on a
rolling.
d6, but I'm not sure what it means.
It's a nat fail, whatever it is.
Okay, so where are you, buddy? Give me one moment.
Benji also failed his spot hidden roll and now can't find
Where are
the
you?
character. Where's it gone? Oh, I just accidentally stabbed myself with a wine cork thing. Ow.
A shape comes rushing out of the darkness.
Oh, fuck. Red Jay!
And
Does he have 4 legs?
No, those are his arms, Eddie.
Oh, it looked like he had 4 legs. Guys, I found Cthulhu.
Whoa. 2 on a d100.
and strikes Mitzi with a table leg.
Fuck.
You fuckers.
Doing.
I sandwiched myself between you sensibly enough, but apparently not.
Give me a moment. Why can't you just tell me his? Why can't you just tell me his fucking damage bonus instead of making me go find the character creation thing and working it out myself? Doing.
Ellie, your Calypso is showing.
8 points of damage to
Oh.
Mitzi.
Ooh,
Fuck.
8 points.
So, Ellie is about to die. If I die in the first hour of this campaign, I'm creating Mitzi 2, who is the other mistress. Oh my
Okay,
god.
So,
Yeah, that's a
how
good
do you
idea.
react being smacked across the temple with a table leg?
Me?
Yeah.
I've probably got a concussion. Well, I took my gun out when we were walking down.
It's a
Stairs.
rifle, though. Probably not good.
No, not the
close
rifle, the
quarters.
handgun. I was joking about the rifle.
Oh, okay. Joking now.
But Nathan already has a rifle out. I
Yeah,
was trying to
fair
like one
enough.
up him because I thought it was a handgun, but
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I've got so I kind of like swing around and point it at this random dude.
Okay, by the time that you react, he is already running up the stairs.
Oh bollocks.
Okay, I can't
Nathan.
remember how to do combat in this system. Give me a moment.
Let's go on to D&D, do combat on that, and come back.
No, give me a moment.
I scream,
I mean,
Jesus Christ, and I draw my Luger. But I mean, we'll wait for actual combat to do things. But anyway,
Looks like we found our vagrant.
yeah, looks like it indeed. Keen eye. this-
Yeah, so I'm probably concussed.
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
I wonder if I would. See, my instinct. Yeah, I'd
Is
have
there,
to go with
is
my
there
instinct.
is there initiative? There is initiative, isn't there?
I don't know.
How would we know?
Hang on.
My instinct would be to like chase the guy up the stairs, but yeah, that's probably what I would do. Come back
I'm gonna
to it
headbutt the fucker.
later.
Give me a moment. I'm real sorry about this, guys.
It's
Fine.
fine.
We'll just keep chatting away. So, Devilman Crybaby, yeah.
Yeah, we can't roleplay because I've just been hit in the head and it'll be a bit weird.
We're in a bit of a frozen spot for roleplay, so.
Oh. Yeah.
Attack on Titan is a really good anime, though.
I haven't seen like many of them, and I still think does Avatar count?
Okay,
No, it
what's
doesn't.
your dexterity?
Mine.
Just all of you.
I've got 10.
Mine is 12.
What's it?
That's fine, don't worry.
It's up the top.
12.
Ooh.
Okay. The two of you 12.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, both of you roll me a d100.
Can you just do that? Let's see. If
Harold is typing.
Ow, shit.
Harold messed up. I feel like Harold just fails this roll.
Okay, so the order goes
7.
Harold, Red Jake, Nathan,
Oh, 7 is good.
Mitzi.
Oh, hooray.
Cool. And has he made it up the stairs, or is running towards the stairs?
He is about halfway up when this combat round starts. That's why I did initiative, because if he beat you guys' initiative, he'd be gone.
Okay.
So you have chance to do something before he makes his successful escape.
Harold, go, man.
So the question
What
is,
do you
though.
have to grapple?
Oh, grapple. I think I upgraded that a
I'll
little
just
bit.
shoot him in the leg.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Do I shoot him and risk killing him, or do I make a run for him and try and grab him?
What do you have to grapple? Because if you have a higher number to grapple, you should go grapple rather than shoot, because you're more likely to be
certainly
successful.
should. I'm gonna. Sorry for all the metagaming. I'm gonna chase him down and try to tackle him. That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh no.
I didn't put any dice to that though. Or there aren't any dice. I don't know what attack damage. Oh, it's 0 attack damage. Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Okay, so you are attempting to stop him leaving.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
But not with my gun.
Throw the gun at him.
If I just move, let's just imagine the room's a little smaller than it is.
Okay. I'll probably turn to face the guy I'm trying to tackle. But anyway.
So let's put you here.
Cool.
Okay, so you're attempting to run over and grapple him?
Yes, I will try to do that.
So could you just move to that spot behind him then? Because you're going to successfully run over to him.
Yep, like this. Oops.
Yep, and can you make a grapple
There
check?
are 2 dice next to grapple.
Remember, neither of those... I don't remember why there are 2 dice.
There's 2 because one is to the public and one's to the GM.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
How
I
do you
think
tell
the
which
first one is
which?
public, second one is GM.
I'll do the public one. If no one sees it, then haha.
Can other people see that?
Yeah,
Yep,
Yep, so...
nice one.
at least it's not in French.
Le grapple. I don't
Well,
know.
it's Spanish. It comes up.
Spanish. It was Spanish, yeah.
Succeeds in the first special personal attack. This attack may be parried. Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
So there is parrying. It's not like the you punch, I punch of D&D.
Okay.
So parrying is blocking of it, or the blocking or diversion of a hand-to-hand attack. It does not work against firearms.
Should have hit him with Maluga.
Essentially, when someone rolls to like hand-to-hand combat you,
Yep.
you roll to hand-to-hand combat them, and if your score beats them, their attack is neutralized.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so he is gonna make a grapple attack.
Just for my information, do I get any bonus on that since I initiated the attack?
No.
Okay.
However, if yours is
Interesting.
successful,
Yep.
you get to choose what you want to do.
Kill him. No. Break his neck.
Wow.
He has base grapple, so
Yep.
he has to get under a 25.
Okay. Shit! What the fuck?
So he breaks free of your grapple.
What an asshole.
And
How?
he is next in your... By the way, a critical fail in this system is a 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that one.
Good and confusing.
It's a
It is his
critical-
turn.
Does that one
No,
count?
sorry. It is Alex's turn. Sorry, the D100 is who gets higher. So Alex is your now. I'll do it. Cthulhu rolls, so it's lower. So Red Jake, having freed from his grapple, flees. He just goes. He books it.
Bah.
For fuck's sake.
He disappears out. He disappears out of the cellar.
Yep.
And you hear him slam the back door.
Hang on. We've got a car.
We aren't going after the vagrant.
Why not? You could have information.
I think you just want to hit him back for hitting you.
Yeah, he also nearly killed me.
Personally, I'm still not convinced about this whole ghost nonsense. I don't know.
I'm inclined to agree with the good doctor. I think we should investigate him.
I'm sorry, I tried to grab him and I couldn't. He's slippery bastard like an eel, you know. Escaped my clutches.
Nice shoot, Harold.
I would like to tend to Mitzi's head wound, just have a look at it, see if I can help at all.
Okay, give me a medicine roll.
It'll make it worse.
Input value.
Hang on.
Tratamiento. Urgencia. Semina. I guess this is urgent or not urgent.
Hang on. What are you talking about?
So I pressed the roll on my medicine, and I got a little pop-up box saying, you can see it in the stream if you're on the stream. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Input value. I think it's treatment. Urgent or not urgent?
Why is
don't
it in
know.
Spanish?
I don't know.
Wait, doing a medicine skill, are you doing medicine?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you have to choose one.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Medicine or first aid?
Urgencia or seminar?
Sorry.
Oh, hang on.
Cancel the pop-up box and just do first aid.
First aid, right, okay. Yeah, put points into that too.
Medicine's like surgery.
Ah, right. Could have saved Rupert. Urgencia.
Okay,
Anyway.
so you heal 2 hit points.
I guess I just stitch you up or something.
You just like press your
you have
shirt
a quick feel
against...
around. There's no skull fracture.
No skull fracture.
It's just a bit of a bruise. So
Just a
you
bruise.
you just kind of bandage it up a little bit.
Follow my finger. No
Bit of a
concussion.
feel around, eh?
Please, I'm no Merryweather.
I mean, you don't know I was his mistress.
Well, no, I don't. I
I didn't tell you that.
I like to think that I would have read the room, but I don't think I would have been able to.
You took his pulse like 50 times even while he was talking to make sure he wasn't dead. I don't think you read that room, buddy.
It's me observing.
You read
this
a room, but it wasn't ours.
There's a room here. Anyway.
Okay, so Red Jake has escaped. And you are now alone in the cellar.
Well, I suppose there's no ghosties down here.
Clarification, it's not Spanish, it's Italian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, maybe we can. Yeah, never mind.
Is there anything in the cellar?
No, the cellar is completely empty. It looks like the Dark Brotherhood didn't use the cellar.
To the attic then?
Yes, let's inspect the attic.
Let me just find the specific bit about the attic. Cause,
I expect that vagabond heard us coming and then just snuck down here so as not to be detected.
That'll he was Cthulhu and we just let him escape.
Cthulhu? What is a Cthulhu?
Okay, so you head back up to the back room.
Yep.
And you move over to the hatch in the attic.
I'm
the attic.
absolutely not going first.
I'll go first.
There's no sort of ladder or anything present. However, I can tell you that the same occult carvings seen over the doors and windows of the house are present on the frame to the attic.
Should we try reading them again?
Well, oh no, we know what they are. They're warding ones, aren't they?
Yeah, but,
That's-
well, okay, yeah, no, we yeah.
The journal told us.
That's what we would have figured if we'd have done an occult roll properly, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
the journal entry you specifically read also mentioned them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so there's no way up to the hatch.
This is the table, isn't it?
You could drag a table over.
Should we drag a table over?
Yeah, let's do that.
So-
I'm actually not sure how sturdy these tables are. They've been here for years, rotting. Can I test the sturdiness before we let anyone climb on top of it?
Yeah, give me a strength check.
Strength check.
Harold
Break the
jumps
table.
on the table.
So just rolls. So just
Uh,
no, you can't just roll strength, can you?
Yeah, no, I can't.
Roll a d100, trying to get under your strength times 5.
Roll the.
I was going to say under your
Ah,
strength, that'd be impossible. No.
100. My
What's your strength?
Strength is 10, so I'm trying to get under 50. Okay, here we go. Oh. Hey! I bang the table. No.
Yeah, you bang on the table, but you can make
Bang on it.
you don't make a sound assessment of its stability.
Do I know that I don't make a sound assessment though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know from banging the table that you haven't learned
Okay,
anything.
I see. Right. I couldn't say for sure whether you'd be safe standing on that.
Well, I mean, what's the other option? We boost each other.
Yeah, the book literally says a shoulder boost would be necessary.
I tell you
Yeah,
what, why don't I give Nathan a boost? I don't trust this table.
Alright.
Then who's going to get the third one up?
Well, we'll
figure something out.
Up. We could all go up, but yeah.
Okay, so you stand on Harold's shoulders, and we're going to go to the resistance table. So, Alex, can you boost up your character sheet for me?
Mm-hmm.
You see the resistance table at the top.
Mm-hmm.
In the editable box on the top row, can you put your strength?
Yep.
And in the box on this editable box on the side, could you put 12 for me?
Yep.
Okay, so you need to roll under 65 to succeed.
Oofed.
Oh dear.
On a D100.
Too bad. I mean, odds
Oh,
are
wait.
in the favour.
Oh,
Is
no. Yeah, it did it for you. So
Yeah.
you failed to get the door open on that. Well, you can try again.
Just keep trying until
Yeah,
you succeed.
there you
Things happen now. Give me a moment.
Things happen. Oh, great.
Uh,
And I don't have my
rushes
gun
up.
in my hands.
Oh shit! Yeah. Wow.
with a growling makes a grab for you.
Wait, what? Say that again.
With a growling rush, something makes a grab for Nathan.
I'm gonna
Wow.
fucking die, guys.
Can you give me a dodge? Can you give me a dodge roll, please?
I can indeedy.
What's going on up there?
Hey!
Oh,
Nathan falls back and down onto the floor below. Roll me a d6 and halve it to see how many hit points to lose.
Rounding up or down?
One.
Yep, so you lose 1 hit point.
That.
The trap door then slams shut, and a growling, panting sound is heard coming from the attic above.
Jesus Christ!
Can you all make me a sanity check, please?
oh no.
I'm gonna go
Shit.
fucking insane.
I lose a point, yeah?
Lose a point too.
You all need to roll me 1d4 and then halve it to see how many points you lose.
Okay.
Okay, so Harold, you lose. I'll be nice and say 1.
Yeah.
Mitzi lose 1. Nathan lose 2.
What? I lose 0.1.
To be fair, Nathan was
I mean,
the
you
one
lose
that got...
you lose 1 sanity point for succeeding this roll. So
Yeah, okay.
because that's the thing I should say when you make sanity rolls. Succeeding doesn't always mean you avoid a sanity penalty.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
It can sometimes mean that you just get less of a sanity penalty.
Fair.
Okay, so something
Well.
attacked.
Guess we found our ghoulie.
What was it?
Some kind of demon, like a black shape. But it was growling like a dog.
Was it definitely not a dog?
It was definitely not a dog.
Wait, hang on. Has it gone past it, or is it still up?
It's still up
slammed
there.
the trapdoor.
It
shut.
slammed
Yeah.
the trapdoor, and now you can hear a growling, panting sound coming from the attic.
You know any dogs that can slam the trapdoor shut?
Well, it could have been gravity. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
What?
Do you want to head up there, Doctor?
not particularly. I mean, if it were a dog, I still wouldn't want to head up there. If it was a dog or an occult ghoul, either or, I'd rather not. Why don't we fire our guns into the attic and see what happens? We just stand there
expected
shooting
the
at
doctor
the ceiling.
You wouldn't have expected the doctor to be the one out of this group that was trigger happy, but
Well, I don't. Well, maybe I
He was
don't
in the
like
war,
dogs.
wasn't he?
Yes.
most men that I know who went in the war didn't like guns after it.
Well, sometimes needs must.
You
eh?
weren't in the
Gentlemen.
war.
That's why I said most men I know that were in the war.
Gentlemen, I
would know veterans.
believe we have more pressing matters to attend to. Maybe the demon dog.
Maybe we shouldn't shoot into the ceiling. It might all come down.
Maybe not.
Glad to see there's some intelligence still here.
Well, what do you suggest, Mitzi?
I suggest locking the door and leaving, but
I feel like that would be unkind to Rupert's memory. I feel like we should resolve this. Something is happening.
unkind to Rupert's memory. He's the one
Yes.
who's apparently summoned a demon, and if that thing is the demon he summoned, it's his fault.
Of course it's his fault. I'm not disputing that. But he asked us to do something, and now he's dead. It'd be the least we could do to at least carry it through for more than 10 minutes.
An hour and 20, but
We haven't been in this farmhouse for an hour and 20 minutes.
You've been at the farmhouse about a half hour.
Yeah, but I'd say 10 minutes because I'm a bit of an asshole and I'm just like,
Yeah, no, that's fine. But like,
we can't
So it's
handle animals,
it's
damn.
about it's coming up to about 20 to 3 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Maybe
Mm.
we should open the trapdoor again and
Hmm.
like someone like stick their gun through.
Well, Nathan, how would you feel about going up there again?
Damn dog's already pushed me off your shoulders once.
Yeah, well, what's the other choice? You're gonna let the lady go up?
That's very true, man. Alright, I'll do it.
Righto.
Using sexism
Can't
to-
trust ladies to handle these things.
Nice.
Oh, I'm so
Um,
innocent and vulnerable.
Actually,
I'm not even gonna. You're not even gonna get a roll on this. Try as you might, you can't reopen the trapdoor.
Is the dog sitting on the trapdoor?
presumably.
You would not be able to tell, but for some, even Nathan, who is a strong, virile soldier, cannot force that door open.
Because I mean, if the
Sterility
dog's
really
sitting on the
helps with that.
trapdoor, maybe we should just shoot through the trapdoor.
Well, someone suggested that idea already, but I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, but then that's the only suggestion you made. Like,
Yes. You shot
Give
it
me
down.
idea. Give
should
me
shoot
some
the dog
idea
down.
rolls.
Idea rolls.
a deer roll.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
Hey,
That's the second time in this campaign.
I succeeded, and look at that roll.
What happens when you get 3 strikes?
Alex, are you making a roll?
I don't know where it is.
It's in characteristics and rolls.
Alex,
underneath the
Alex's
resistance
character's
table.
just standing there like, help.
What's an idea?
Alex, it's on characteristics and rolls.
I literally cannot find that.
That's at the
Right
top
at
of
the
the
top.
character
Right at the
sheet.
top.
Ah, okay.
And then just click the dice next to idea.
The die.
Yeah.
Mitzi and Nathan, it strikes you that it might be pertinent to have a little more of a look around the back room, given that you only really did a cursory glance and then investigated the hobos, the vagrants, lodging bit.
Are we being told off by the DM through that? Through that roll?
No. That's literally what the idea roll is. It's
Yeah.
the DM suggests the course of action.
Gives you a hint.
Okay, it's not the DM scolds you because, god damn it, guys, you've missed a vital clue.
No.
It can
No,
be,
'cause
though.
if you all fail the roll, then you just don't get the hint.
We just start
Yeah.
shooting at the ceiling. So we're all going to do a cursory look of the room, I guess. Well, not a cursory look. We've done a cursory look. We want to do a more in-depth one.
Yeah.
Do we have
Okay.
to...
No, you begin to search the room, and on this shelf here, you find an old wooden cigar box and a thin sheaf of yellowed papers.
I take the paper.
I open the box.
Okay,
watch.
let me do paper. Let me do paper then box. The papers are handwritten notes dated March 1882. All the sheets are in the large flourish hand. A hand unlike the neat crabbed script of Rupert Merriweather, so it's a different hand to the one that's written in the journal.
Okay.
Also, like a different hand to the one that you've received letters or correspondence from in the past.
Okay.
There are 6 copies of the same Latin chant, separate copies for each member of the Dark Brotherhood, presumably. 3 of the sheets identify the chant as having been copied from a book called De Vermis Mysteris, written circa 15. No, you don't need to know that. They've noted that at the bottom of these copies that it's from, it's like extract from De Vermis Mysteris.
Yep. Just to interject here, I can read Latin, I think, as a doctor.
Pardon?
I can read
Sorry,
Latin.
you cut out for me then.
I can read Latin, so if we want translations and stuff, I can try a roll for that. Just letting everyone know.
None of it is in Latin.
Oh,
Oh wait, no, sorry.
I'm sure
The
you
chant
said-
is in Latin. Sorry, the
Yeah,
chant is in Latin.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Haha. I thought the rest is in English.
The pages contain notes about the book and its history. So you do subsequently find out it was written in around 1542 by a man called Ludwig Prynne, and a comment in passing that the chant could be used to release the spirit trapped inside the ancient amber. You're not sure what that is referring to, apart from the references made to an amber in the journal entry you read out. The temp sheet includes a description of a pentagram, the symbols, including the symbols that need to be drawn and a combination of the chemicals to be burned in a fire. You assume that is for the ritual again mentioned in the journal entry. The last 3 sheets explicitly discuss the ritual. They indicate that to dispel the spirit, the chant should be reversed, and that everything should be done the same, whether invoking or dispelling. A 2-hour ceremony begun at midnight will drive off the unwanted spirit.
Good.
Cool. So we know how to get rid of it.
Well, yeah.
We've got to do
Waiting around here till midnight then.
the
I
ritual.
suppose.
Well, do we have to do the ritual, but just with the chant backwards, or do we just chant backwards at midnight?
You have to do the ritual, but with the chant backwards.
Yeah, so we're going to need the stuff to do the ritual, aren't we?
Well, we have ingredients lists. We have details for drawing things.
Well, and so sorry, Nathan opened the cigar box.
Mm-hmm.
You died.
Do you want to make a successful history roll to date the cigars?
Are
Okay.
there cigars in there?
If I can find history.
It's
There it is.
there.
No,
Cigars.
Wait. no. Yeah, no.
Sure are some cigars.
The sheets of paper glued on it are peeling and yellowed, and it just looks like old cigars. You know that some of your commanding officers and stuff have smoked cigars, but
Hell, maybe Nathan does.
Did. Oh, no, Nathan's the alive one.
does
I'm the
Nathan
alive one.
does Nathan smoke cigars?
Nope.
Okay. Inside the box is a small metal canister containing a coarse brownish powder, and a small wooden box with a sliding lid holding a small amount of silvery talc-like substance.
That'll be the powder. Or maybe that's for drawing the brown powder for throwing stuff and the talc for
What were the
drawing
ingredients again we needed?
pentagrams.
You don't know.
Oh,
Oh.
I thought we had an ingredients list.
Well, you have an ingredients list, and it's like the powder of Ibn Ghazi and black taper candles.
Well, there's a powder.
Taper candles. Well, we've got the powder of Ibn Ghazi, and then we've got a silver talc-like substance. Is that right?
Yeah.
Maybe the talc is for drawing the pentagrams. I don't know.
Could be.
They said a chalk pattern which had got broken in the.
So the pentagon was
journal.
probably drawn chalk then, isn't it?
Yeah, presumably, unless this is chalk.
The
I'm
silvery substance is definitely not chalk.
That's not chalk I've ever
Let me
seen
get a close.
before.
Oh
Harold.
no, that isn't chalk. No, that's right. No, it's not.
If you touch it, it's like graphite. It does adhere to the skin very easily.
Yeah, it's stuck to my fingers.
I'm not touching it.
Yeah, don't.
Howard, I'm really starting to doubt your medical degree with some of the things you're coming out with.
Sometimes you learn by doing. I couldn't see it. It's bad light in here. It's clearly not chalk now. I mean, I know that. Anyway.
Harold, I'm going to have to ask you to stop. I'm going to have to ask you to cease and stop.
I glance over at Nathan and go, woman's temperament, am I right?
Can I shoot Harold?
Nathan raises an eyebrow.
Can I shoot Harold?
No.
Oh.
I mean, you can if you want, but
No.
the DM won't be happy.
You can shoot him a nasty look and he'll get spooked.
Ooh. I glare at Harold.
Yeah.
You lose all your sanity.
So,
Harold
one
stops
of you
screaming.
one of you checks your watch and you note that you note that it is coming up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
All right.
So
I
if you were to theoretically conduct this ceremony, you have many hours to wait.
Yeah, and we also don't have a candle.
Yeah, we need to find some black taper candles.
I mean, there's a general store in that village we pass. Maybe they've got some.
Yes, we could pop back.
Maybe they know what some of these ingredients are.
Have plenty of time. Can you just list very briefly what we need based on the instructions? We need
So something called the powder of Ibn Ghazi,
okay,
black taper candles,
yeah,
chalk,
mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much it.
All right, so we need chalk and candles because I assume this thing is the powder.
Well, because are there not 2 powders in that box?
There is a brown coarse powder as well.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
make
that's the powder.
Make a chemistry check on that if you want.
Sure,
Nice,
I can
yeah.
do that because I think I've got a little bit of a. Oh no, I don't have a boost to chemistry. Never mind.
Oh no,
I have to beat 1.
I'm gonna try it anyway.
I tried, it didn't work.
You can't identify the brown powder or the silvery powder. You give me an idea roll.
Okay.
Come on, ideas.
Oh, I have
Hey.
an idea.
No, fuck off, Nathan.
Mitzi and Harold, given that you're only about 2.5 kilometers away, you could potentially take it to the university. So you could take it to the university and maybe get a professor there to potentially identify it.
Yeah.
But that would be a bit of
A bit of a
that would be a bit of an excursion.
Okay.
Also, he might need to run tests and things, which
Could
might
be
take
back
up.
by midnight. Yeah.
I say
Yep.
we go into the village,
Yep.
get the candles and the chalk, and maybe just ask around.
I suppose. If we
Ask
presume
around for
that
specific occult knowledge, that's gonna go well.
perhaps
Do you have a better idea?
I'm just saying that that's not gonna work.
I tell you what.
What?
You two. Yes, I tell you what.
What?
You two take my car, you drive back to the village, and attempt to find candles, find someone who can help, maybe, I don't know, and come back here where I will stay, and I will read this journal fully to establish exactly what we need to do. There are sure to be more instructions, which I have skimmed over very briefly, which I could read in depth. and then understand what led them to perform this ritual and how they led up to it, which could reveal to us exactly what we need to do, exactly which powders are required and which is which, and so on. How does that sound?
Jack, your accent is all over the place.
Yeah, well, that's good. He's a posh
goes
doctor. A
Posh,
posh
and
doctor
then it goes really common.
is a posh doctor who has served in the army in the Great War and also is settled in America. So it's really weird. You've got to deal with that, Ellie.
I just don't think you're very good at keeping an accent up.
How dare!
Okay,
That's
so
true about me, though.
so
I can't drive.
Shit.
I can't drive
know if I
either.
can
wait,
drive.
wait, are you saying that because you haven't put points in drive?
No, I just did a roll.
No. You can drive if you like. You can specifically say my character hasn't learned how to drive. Drive auto is about making unorthodox maneuvers while driving.
It's not
Right, okay.
driving an automatic.
I can't drive.
It's not the skill as it's not the skill of whether you can drive.
Okay.
It's your ability to do stuff like braking in a sudden situation or like car chasing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright.
Nathan can drive. Nathan knows how to drive. Nathan, you know how to drive.
If you're in the Navy, you will know how to drive.
That's what
Yeah,
I
I
was
know how to
assuming.
drive.
Yes.
I don't.
Women.
So who is going to the
I can't wait till I go crazy and get to shoot all these people.
Women, you say? Bang, bang.
who is going to
Well, I'm going to stay here and
yeah,
just
so
sit
who's
in
going
the
to the
book.
general store?
Harrow
Somebody
very
deal with that.
Me and
authoritatively
Yeah.
said
Okay.
that we were going. So,
So
Yeah.
you two will go to the general store. Jack, I will deal with you because we're going to time lapse you for 4 hours because that's how
Sure.
long it takes to read the journal.
Cool.
So you settle down. Go through. You pick the least worn wing chair in the front room, and you settle down to read the journal.
Yes, I do indeed.
So first of all, can you roll me a D4 and halve it again?
D4 and halve it. Right, /D4.
Well, actually, sorry. Do
One.
slash roll D2 for me.
D2.
Roll 1 D2. Okay,
See?
so you lose 2 sanity points.
I would have only lost one with the D4. Okay.
But you can add 1 percentile to your Cthulhu Mythos skill.
Oh. Cthulhu Mythos. 1. Good.
So the journal details a group of friends playfully calling themselves the Dark Brotherhood.
Yep.
They held their first meeting in early spring of 1881. Rupert Merriweather became the recording secretary. The members numbered 6, including Marion Allen, the founder and their nominal leader. Marion Allen was an ancient histories professor at Miskatonic College at the time. In June of 1881, they purchased an old farmhouse outside the small village of Endurance. Their farmhouse is called Ross's Corner, and they used this place as a place where they could conduct their experiments in private. Representing themselves as a student literary fraternity, they cleaned and furnished the place while Marion Allen curved special warding signs over the wooden doors and windows. At the time, the others were amused at such precaution. A series of experiments, innocent and apparently ineffective attempts to contact the spirit world, are then detailed over about 25 pages or so. An entry dated February of 1882 notes Marion Allen's acquisition of an artifact, purportedly Egyptian, described as a small sarcophagus of gold with a hinged lid. The description is almost identical to the one you found in the box that Rupert gave you.
Yeah.
At the time of Marion Allen's acquisition, inside was a large piece of amber entrapping a specimen of some unknown species of arthropod. Allen is very excited, according to Merriweather's journal entries. The box corresponds to a description he found in an ordinary reference volume in Miskatonic College library. Alan says in another book, a thick Latin tome called De Vermis Mysteris, there is an explanation of some purported powers of the box. The small animal trapped in the amber is said to contain a friendly spirit and a guide to the spirit world. A date is set to conduct a ceremony intended to summon this spirit creature, a Saturday night in the middle of March 1882. The next entry is the entry you read aloud, the detailing of the ceremony itself. Following that are the names of those belonging to the Dark Brotherhood, followed by the dates of their death, all by the same hand but in various inks. They read Robert Mencken, March 1882. You link that to be the Robert who is killed by the creature they summon. Harold Copley, August 1882. The Harold who, presumably the Harold who was driven mad by the murder of his friend. Marion Allen, August 1883. At this point, you see a little note that says, "Reminder, please, reminder article on the next page." Crawford Harris, January 1915. Cecil Jones, March 1924. Rupert Merriweather. The date is not recorded. On the page after that is a small newspaper clipping dated in August 1883. And it's a small newspaper article from a New Orleans newspaper with the headline, "Murder at the Docks, New Orleans." The body of Mr. Marion Allen, late of Arkham, Massachusetts, was discovered early this morning near the Gulf and Panama docks. A victim of foul play, the man was identified by local witnesses who said that Mr. Allen had been seen in the locale the evening before. Although robbery was the apparent motive, police report that the victim's tongue had been cut out. Marion Allen had reportedly gone to the police earlier this week, claiming that he was being followed and that he feared for his life. His shadowy pursuers were after an Egyptian artifact that he no longer possessed. The last entry is in a noticeably weaker hand, and the ink is quite fresh. I greatly fear that which I and my colleagues have loosed upon this countryside. Nothing of consequence has yet taken place, but with my death the bonds will be broken and this thing will be freed to come and go as it pleases. Lives and souls not yet taken already lie heavy on my conscience. The method of delivering this thing out of this world is still in that accursed house. The translation made by Marion Allen from that horrid De Vermis Mysteris. I am not strong enough to take on the task, but I know of those who perhaps are. Should they fail me, may God have mercy on my soul.
Shit.
The final 20 or so pages of the journal are blank.
Well,
there's a small note in the end of it that says, "And I can offer my mistress at the same time."
How does after the 4 hours? Because you kind of go into a trance, and so you don't notice them come back and stuff.
Yep.
So how does Harold feel after reading the entire journal?
Not great. He's a bit concerned for his safety and the safety of these two now, based on the fact that Marion was apparently murdered. Though, I mean, he's leaning more towards the occult being a real thing now because he's a bit spooked by it all. But he's not sure if Marion was murdered by some kind of dark force or if it was genuinely just people who wanted this artifact. In which case, I mean, we've got the artifact, so we'd best be bloody careful.
So remember, his death was in March of 1883.
Yeah.
Which is nearly 50 years before this game.
Yeah. Well, it could be a secret society, though, that kind of thing.
True, but...
like, if there's people that... Well, if people were after it then, people might still be after it now. And the death of Rupert Merriweather might be the perfect opportunity for people to start looking again. So I'm a little bit wary of that, but also kind of not convinced that it's not the occult, because it could be. It could be that this evil spirit has tracked him down and cut out his tongue. But yeah, well, he's spooked. Harold is spooked, and when he gets the next opportunity, he'd like to warn Mitzi and Nathan to just keep an eye out. Be wary.
Okay, we will have that warning presently. But Mitzi
Cool.
and Nathan, you drive into town and find the general store. Just need to jump back through the book. Okay. You find the residence of Endurance Park.
Can I? Apparently, Jack, you're quite quiet.
Quite quiet. If I'm closer to the microphone, does that help?
Not sure. Got to wait for chat.
Yeah, wait for chat. Chat should tell. I hope they got all
Benji...
of that. If you didn't catch anything of what I said, let me know and we can say it over again. But hopefully now I'm a bit louder.
Yeah. Benji, if you want to continue, seeing as I don't think problem.
No, fine. The residents that you see around the town are exceptionally dour, unsmiling, and overtly suspicious of you. You can make a psychology check if you wish.
Yeah, sure. Not going to beat this one, am I? I was so close.
I was not.
Okay, so you enter the general store. People begin to slowly warm up to you as they pass you, given that you have a man dressed in what is clearly an off-duty naval uniform. So you're in the general store. What would you like? So do you look at the shelves and stuff?
I mean,
Yeah. I talk to Mitzi and say we should probably just go up to the clerk behind the desk. No
Yeah.
point in her looking around for nothing.
Oh, quick question. Can I use? Is there anything that can say haggling? Is haggling a thing?
That's the bargain skill.
Okay. What's fast talk do then?
Fast talk is talking to distract someone.
Okay, I've got high and both. It's all good. Yeah, let's go talk to him.
The person behind is a haggard old woman behind the. Good afternoon to you.
Hi, we're looking to make a few purchases. Why is my
What
voice
can I
gone
find? What can
very
I find for you,
weird?
strangers?
There's a tapered black candles, and oh god, what was the other thing?
Chalk.
Chalk.
I can do both of them for you.
How much would it cost us?
She kind of rings it up and she's like, how many candles do you want?
5.
Okay.
I assume it's each point of the pentagram.
The
And
instructions would say, surely.
and a box of chalk?
Yes.
That's going to be $1.65.
Is that... Oh god, to actually haggle I have to talk about it, don't I? I can't just roll.
Mm-hmm.
You see my husband next to me. He was in the Navy, and he fights... He is in the Navy! And he fights for us every day, and to that end, could you possibly
Who's he
think
fighting?
about...
We ain't at war with no one.
The Navy is constantly defending the US's lines, man.
And those Germans are looking a bit wily.
Can you give me credit rating? Please? Hey, actually, Jack, no, the Americans are like, oh, we'll deal with anyone who wins that shit. Credit rating, please.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the US.
I failed. I was close, though.
It's 4 years
Well,
till the Second World War starts.
Well,
Hey, I win!
you know,
How?
Sorry, Benji. That won't count because I'm not anything special. I just really watched you make the roll. Quite impressive.
I'll I'll give you something for it, but I won't. She's like, I'm sorry. I know. I do respect the men in service. You know, my husband served in that Great War, but can't just be handing out discounts in the middle of hard financial times, kind of now.
I'm pregnant.
Nathan just like kind of looks a little bit horrified at that, and just.
And
I'm
Right.
going to say that negates your. Because you cut me off. I'm going to say that negates your credit rating roll.
Oh no!
Nathan
didn't
just
realise I
puts the
cut
money
you
on
off.
the counter and says, "That's quite all right. Have a nice day, ma'am."
I want to try the
And you.
bargaining. I didn't realise I cut you off. Sorry.
So you go back with your purchases to the house.
I assume we needed 5 candles. If it turns out we needed 6, I'm gonna be pissed.
That is actually a very good point.
Each pentagon, right?
Yeah, but one might have had to go in the middle.
Oh fuck.
I think you only needed 2 candles.
Oh well, we've got more, just in
can try
case.
it. that
Fairs,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got a box of chalk.
And I've got matches.
Excellent.
And I've got a
Imagine if
can.
we didn't have
So,
matches.
when you guys arrive, Harold is reading in a deep reading trance, which he kind of a few hours later.
Should we be worried?
No,
Okay.
Jack,
Yeah.
you wanted to say something to them?
Anything interesting?
Well, I've read over the journal. The most significant parts were probably what I read to you previously, but see, Rupert's friend Marion was murdered a year later, almost a year later, and I can't see. I think Rupert leans more towards the idea of the occult being responsible, but I am not fully convinced, as I'm a man of science, you know. And I would urge all of you to just be wary. It's possible that there are people who are interested in this venture and would kill to get what they want from it. So I would urge all of you to just be careful. All right?
I mean,
Fair enough.
isn't New Orleans quite a dangerous place?
Well, I mean, there is a suggestion in the article that it's related to a particular Egyptian sarcophagus-like thingy, which is in that box which Rupert gave us. So, you know, careful. Just be careful.
Alright, I appreciate your concern.
Yes. That's all I ask. All I ask, you know, just watch yourself and whatnot.
That's why I got a gun.
I couldn't really learn anything from the book pertaining exactly to the ritual itself, so I couldn't tell you any more about these powders.
I still think the brown one is probably the
Oh
powder.
no, from reading and like and because I'm gonna guess you also read like the sheafs of paper you found.
Yes. You
The
did tell me
silver
about it,
powder
though.
is the powder of Ibn Ghazi.
Okay.
The brown one is one that you throw on. The powder of Ibn Ghazi is what you use to make show the position of the creature in the attic,
Oh right.
because it's nearly invisible to the eye.
Like
The
winter
brown powder is what you throw into the flames of the candles.
Cool.
As part of the ceremony.
Okay, so I did learn that from. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. I relay that then.
So, should we start drawing the pentagram just to get it all set up?
Sure.
Oh, wait, hang on. The chant was in that paper, wasn't it?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I have to do the chant backwards.
So, I'm assuming, seeing as Harold knows Latin,
Yes.
even though it is a dead language,
Well,
Harold will probably be the one to read the chant.
medically important, but anyway.
You medically.
Okay, so you begin to prepare for the ceremony. And since we have been going a little bit, we are going to just take a quick. I need Jack.
Yep.
5 minutes? 10
minutes.
minutes?
5 minutes is good for me. Yep.
Okay. Keep the stream running. I'll boot up
Sure.
my
I'll be
stream.
back in a
And
sec.
so, yeah, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break before we continue. If you guys want to leave me questions in the chat, go do it. So, see you guys back here at 8 o'clock?
Yep, sure. Be back in a sec.
Hey,
I'm just gonna stay here.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay too.
how are you guys finding Call of Cthulhu?
I love it.
I hate the rolls. I keep failing on most of them.
Oh yeah, the rolls are annoying, but they're quite amusing.
Yeah. Different. Though Claire and I mentioned earlier on the chat that we want a Stardew Valley tabletop game now.
Well, I did today download a not Cthulhu system, a system called, oh god, what's it called? Tubo's Marvelous Wish Granting Engine, which is essentially a role-playing system in which you essentially do a Studio Ghibli movie.
Oh.
Amazing.
Nah, I'm gonna write my own tabletop. It's gonna be a Stardew Valley simulator tabletop game.
That's cool.
Or I'll do the Stephen King one where it's just set exclusively in Maine and just use tropes from like things like the books, films, and mini TV series.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those things are brilliant. Like oh god, I'm trying to think of one of the really terrible TV serials.
Maximum Overdrive's a particularly bad TV one.
No, but that one's not as bad. I feel like it was a parody. Because Stephen King was actually like properly involved with that one. Some of the others he wasn't so involved with.
I'm gonna guess Claire wants to do the Tubo's Marvelous Wish Granting Engine.
Which Maximum Overdrive was the one with the lorry van.
The murder lorry, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. No, what I'm on about is the one where they're in a plane, and then they're like something happens, and there's only 6 of them in this like deserted airport in Maine. And then the ending, I can't remember what it's called, but the ending is just like they're building up to this monster, and it just looks like, well, it looks like a testicle, the monster. It looks like a bunch of flying testicle monsters, and it is so funny. I'll try and find a picture because it is honestly the best. I could talk about some Stephen King stuff for ages. It's hilarious. The Langoliers. The Langoliers, that was it, the 1995 mini. I will send a picture in the chat and I'll get Jack to like use it later because it's so funny. Here we go. Okay, look in the Discord. I'll get Jack to show it in a minute, but it's it's honest to God some of the worst CGI I've ever seen.
What the fuck?
Those are like the big bad Langoliers. They're so funny.
Dear God, that's weird.
Hang on, I'll put a link in chat.
Wow. Just that's all I can say to that is wow.
Yeah, like it builds up all this tension and all this kind of like, oh my God, there's a big bad thing out there, and then that's the final result.
Chat,
What
how-
are we looking at here?
It's the big bad from some 90s Stephen King miniseries.
Oh.
95. Copy link address. I will put the link address in chat. I feel I should put a warning with it because it takes your WordPress. If you scroll down and there's a picture of what the Langoliers are. I can't stop giggling. Honestly, I mean, Stephen King is a brilliant writer, but his stuff does not translate well.
Well, some of it does.
Some of it. Some of the mini-series are usually the worst things. God, what was the other one? Can't remember what it was now.
I'm back, by the way. Hello.
Yeah, we
Hi,
figured
Jack.
that one. Shall we do a restart? now that I've shared upon the world the Langoliers.
Did I miss
Yeah,
anything
that's-
interesting from chat?
No.
Cool.
I just put pictures of Langoliers everywhere.
Okay, so you draw the you draw the pentagram as needed. You set up the candles, and then you wait.
Oh, hang on. Didn't they put like warding spells off and everything? Oh wait, no, this is for despelling. We're not summoning Cthulhu. Gotcha. Ignore
I think
me.
we should summon Cthulhu.
We're like, you see, we could dispel this bad creature, or we could summon more.
Yeah.
Okay, so at around sunset, you hear the creature leave. Long before you start the ceremony, you hear the creature leave, whistling out of the attic and across the fields towards the nearby woods.
Oh, fuck.
Has it just left? It's left, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I assume when you despell it, you bring it in and then you despell it. Like, it doesn't have to be here.
I don't know.
Can you give me listen rolls, please?
Oh, no.
Great.
I succeeded.
Oops, I should be rolling as Harold, really.
Yep.
Jack succeeded.
Yeah.
You did not
At
succeed.
10 p.m., you hear horrific, blood-curdling screams coming from the direction of the forest.
Fuck.
I assume you tell me what you're hearing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well.
what a... Oh, we can't do anything, can we? Surely the best thing is just continue working.
It sounds like there's someone in trouble out. I mean, from what you told me, it sounds like there's someone that's in trouble, and
The screaming ends as almost as quickly as it begins. It's a male voice, and it is almost cut. It's like almost muted. You know, in like modern terms, it's almost as someone has hit a mute button. The way it stops.
Yeah. Yeah. It's started and stopped. I assume the guy's had his, I don't know, his soul has passed on to the other world, I assume. In less weird terms than that. That's a weird way of saying the guy's dead. He's most likely unsavable.
At midnight, you begin the ceremony. The notes state that one person must be continuing the chant at any one time. The ceremony will fail if there is no one speaking. Individual chanters may stop now and again to catch their breath, but at least one person must be chanting at any given moment.
Oh boy.
We've got to chant the Latin, right? Backwards.
Yeah, every half hour, you will give 2 of your magic points to the ceremony.
What?
You have magic points, so every half hour you will lose 2 of them.
Okay.
It's going to take 2 hours to do this. Does anyone have less than 6 magic points?
No.
Where's magic?
Nope.
Next to
It's-
hit points.
I have 12.
13. Okay, cool.
Okay. So as you begin the ceremony, the lurker quickly returns. As the ceremony begins, the creature, whatever it is, quickly returns to the house. You can hear it plunge back into the attic above and begins a campaign of terror.
Oh. Campaign.
It begins to. Okay, so yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm reading the flavor text, not the actual stuff. So the first 20 minutes of the ceremony goes smoothly.
Okay.
So long.
After 20 minutes, the creature returns, drawn home by your chanting, most likely landing in the attic with a loud thump.
Eesh.
And you begin to hear it snuffling heavily above you. Oh, everyone, give me a sanity check.
Oh no. Hey!
Oh.
Alex, you lose 1 sanity point.
Okay.
Just a thing, if you the way that you start getting sanity effects is if you lose 10 sanity points in an hour or a quarter of your sanity points in a session.
Okay.
Okay.
You keep chanting. Are you taking breaks, or you're just kind of powering on for two whole hours?
We didn't think to coordinate anything beforehand, did we?
Well, we're probably just stubborn, so we're going for the full 2 hours.
I think we're just going for the full 2 hours and come what may.
Okay. Well, you know that you can drop out if you need to, but one of you always needs to keep chanting.
Yeah.
Maybe we devise, like, on the fly, a system of hand signals to be like, I'm going to need to breathe in a second, and then everyone else knows that that person needs
Yeah.
to breathe.
Within moments, the creature sets up an awful howling, interspersed by grunts and foul curses spoken in a harsh, guttural voice.
Mind your language, dog.
Curses that we... Dog.
This is
Old
not a good
house
doggo.
sways and creaks, the sudden jolts shaking it to its foundations. Objects still on the shelves and the mantle fall and roll across the floor. Give me a sanity check.
I'm
I'm
never
gonna
sleeping
fail
with
this.
an Egyptologist again.
Yeah.
Hey!
What is your stable sanity, Alex? I guess I can...
I think it's 6.
My
Six.
stable sanity is 60, but I've lost.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
I'm rolling very close.
Harold,
So-
is that 40 your second roll?
Yes, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Okay, Nathan, give me a roll 1d3 for me. So just /1 roll 1d3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, so take 3 sanity. You have lost 4 in so far. The
Nathan.
violence and noise continues for a half hour.
Okay.
So you are coming up to about halfway. So you've been chanting for about an hour now.
Yeah.
About 50 minutes. Then a horrible smell begins to creep down from the attic above, followed by a thick, stinking goo that oozes through the ceiling
Ugh,
and drops down the walls. Can you give
Yeah.
me luck rolls?
luck. Ah,
Damn.
99.
62.
Where is
Covered
that?
in muck.
It's in characteristics.
My idea.
rolls.
Right below your idea, yeah.
Ah.
My no is high.
Hey!
Hey, lucky.
Okay,
Lucky
Mitzi and Harold, you're splattered with this acidic substance.
Ugh.
Can you roll me 1d2? Can you roll me 2 1d2? So can you roll me 2?
Two
Can you roll me
D2.
1d2 twice?
Okay.
Again? Do you want me to roll it again?
Yeah. Okay, so both of you take 3 damage.
Okay.
Oh,
You can,
Jesus.
so it is beginning to burn your skin.
Ah,
For both of you, it's leaving more first-degree burns than second-degree burns. It's up to you if you want this to scar, if you want this to leave scars.
I'd prefer not.
That's fine.
I think my mind's going to be... I think I'm going to die by the end of this campaign.
Near the beginning of the second hour of chanting, the monster quiets, and the investigators chant without distraction. So coming in to first hour. We've done the first hour, second hour. Okay, so about 90 minutes into your chanting, so half an hour to go. I need you to all make me listen rolls.
Oh. Wow.
None of you hear anything.
We're all... Oh, the really annoying thing is both Jack and Alex's roll would have been enough for me.
Yeah.
Because I put points into listen.
Okay. About 10 minutes later, there is banging on the walls and the doors. We'll probably be done in about 20 minutes, don't
Cool.
worry. Where are we? So you hear things and you see things pushing in at the doors and the windows, screaming and shouting and hollering. If you give... do any of you choose to turn your head and look out the window?
I'd probably just shut my eyes.
Absolutely
Like-
not.
Would any of you instinctively look out the window, especially as you hear now things hitting the windows?
Oh, probably.
You would, because you're a soldier.
Yeah, you're a soldier.
Yeah. I have 3 hit points before I've lost 10
Oh, jeez.
session.
You need sanity points.
Sanity.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh,
No,
boy.
because it's 10 in an hour. You've only
We
lost
passed
4.
the
Oh,
hour.
right.
You're fine.
Okay.
Okay. At the window, hammering and screaming, is the hobo who attacked Mitzi.
Ow! Fucking
Good.
Okay.
Red Jake.
Good.
His face is covered in blood. It's scratched and the skin is torn. He is horrifying to look at. So can you give me a sanity check?
Yeah.
See, I feel like if Mitzi had looked, she shouldn't lose sanity
How
because she's
many?
like, thank God.
Roll 1d6.
Bastard doesn't deserve it. It's really tough because, like, the more sanity you lose, you actually
So
roll a
take
success.
5.
Yeah.
So if
I'll
you
give you
lose
a 10.
20 points,
Okay, I'm going to give you a temporary insanity of mutism because I think it's. I think we'll be done by half past Jack.
Cool.
and even if we're not, it's a bit
Yeah.
hard to do this with only 2 people.
Cool.
I think it's 10 in an hour, more than 4 at any in one roll, and more than 25%. So Alex,
Uh-oh.
you
Uh-oh.
are stunned into silence.
Okay.
You are mute with fear as you look out the window. Harold and Mitzi, you notice that Nathan has stopped chanting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's concerning,
I
but
guess I'm just going to focus hard on keeping up the chants, making sure that I'm still chanting.
yeah.
The ceremony continues, and nearing the last 5 minutes of the ceremony, a wisp of smoke curls down from the ceiling, twisting towards the center of the pentagram on the floor. The creature from the attic manifests itself before your eyes. 4 minutes more of chanting is all that is required to drive it back to its place of origin. As it begins to condense in the pentagram, it becomes partially visible. A horrible, twisting mass of talons and maws and long appendages.
He's a bad dog.
Can you give me
Guessing that's a sanity roll.
sanity check? Yep.
Jesus.
Guess he's going insane. Oh! I did it! I
That's
did it!
Yeah.
twice
Can
I've
you give
rolled a
me-
99.
Can you roll me 1d8?
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm all good.
Okay, you only take 3. That's all right.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I accidentally set my sanity points to 17. They're on 58.
Right, you're dead then.
58. Whoops.
You power through,
I'm not 58, sorry, 55.
and
Whoa.
after 4 more soul-wrenching minutes of chanting, the creature implodes. It kind of the smoke folds in on itself and disappears, leaving only the lingering unearthly foulness behind.
That wasn't
Okay,
so hard.
so
Yes, we
first
did
of
it.
all, can you roll me 1d10?
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
Okay, Alex, you gain
Ah.
8 sanity points.
Ah.
So all of you gain that roll plus 1 in sanity points
Sweet.
back.
Okay.
And we go over our max.
No, you hit your max.
Okay,
Yeah,
hit your
you
max,
filled
right.
your max.
Sorry, back up. Woo.
Back up.
Nice.
Oh.
I'm still like on 3 hit points though. Do we lose magic points?
You will recover magic points slowly over time, naturally. So what do you guys do after dispelling the monster? The closest inn, if you wanted to get sleep, would be in Arkham. But how do you guys immediately react after it disappears?
I'm
Fucking
very
hell.
shaken. I'm probably just silent, just like this is shaken Harold's entire worldview. You know, didn't really believe
You're
in the
a
occult
doctor.
beforehand.
You're a man of science.
Exactly. But this has happened, and there's no way I'm getting away from the fact that this was a real occurrence. So Harold is spooked as fuck. He's like, just like, well.
I'm making a pact not to sleep with any more Egyptologists.
Can Nathan speak?
Yes, Nathan can now speak again.
Is Red
Nathan's
Jake
mutism
still
comes back.
outside?
Pardon?
Is Red Jake still outside?
fuck.
Oh,
We
as
would
the
know
computer
about
imploded, they stop. If you are to, do any of you venture outside?
We're gonna have to eventually, so we might as well.
Yeah, I need some air.
I'd probably only go outside if everyone else went.
I need some air. So
If you all want to go outside and just be like,
Outside are two corpses.
shit.
One is of Red Jake, and the other is of a swollen, bloated woman in her mid-50s who you do not recognize.
Probably
Both
the
of them
scream
have
we heard
unnaturally clean holes in their chest.
before. Ugh.
Give me sanity checks. Even you, because
Oh, okay, because it's not
because
proper.
this is what gets you is the cleanness of the
Yeah.
hole. This isn't an animal
Yeah.
attack.
Nathan
isn't
didn't
trauma.
go outside.
Oh, Nathan didn't. So Nathan
No.
doesn't see the corpses.
Yeah, right.
So we both failed.
Okay, so just lose one sand. Hang on, sorry. Let me just quickly grab what it would have been if you'd seen this earlier. Sanity. Yeah, take one sanity damage.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, was
so,
that spot hidden that we all failed right at the start?
Pardon? Yeah, that's just, that I was getting. No, that's not. It's a different spot hidden.
Oh, okay.
You would have seen something similar to what you just saw if you passed that spot hidden.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at the end of the campaign, I'm going to quickly do all the things you missed and stuff.
Okay.
Sure. Cool.
So yeah. So what do you do now?
I suggest that we just drive back to Arkham.
Yeah, I say
Find an inn.
let's get out. I need.
Okay. You find an inn. It looks like it's guest lodging for Miskatonic College, maybe where parents stay if they come to visit their child.
Cool. Yeah.
And the woman behind the desk looks Nathan up and down and says, excuse me,
Yeah,
are you Lieutenant Nathan Haddon?
Fuck.
that'd be me.
I have a message for you from Deputy Peterson. He says that you went to college together.
Oh yeah.
He's also raised Cthulhu.
You got past a telegram.
Right.
Well, it's more of a note.
Scrunch it up, throw it in the bin, go to bed.
Yeah. We know what happened the last time we saw notes.
Nathan reads it.
Nathan, why?
The note is a tip off. The deputy says that he heard you were in town and he knew that you were close to Dr. Merriweather. And he heard that you were in town because you'd been summoned by Dr. Merriweather. It's a largest town, but news still spreads, especially after like an eminent resident like Dr. Merriweather. He says that the police were called to the Merriweather residence, and Agnes Merriweather was found murdered in her bed with a knife buried to the hilt in her back.
Fuck.
Oh, thank God I can't be a suspect. Usually it's the mistress, but not this one.
Bertrand appears to have fled, but while searching the house, Deputy Peterson came across some letters. After kind of hearing the news about how you'd been summoned to a secretive meeting with Rupert Merriweather, he thought the letters, after reading their contents, that shook him to his core, might be pertinent to whatever shady shit you're dealing with, Mr. Merriweather.
It's a long telegram.
No, sorry, it's more like a note. It's more like a
Okay,
note,
yeah,
not
cool,
a telegram.
cool. Sorry,
Nathan,
I missed that,
stop. There is trouble. Stop.
He says that you just got to ask the innkeep for the letters.
What, here?
Yeah.
No, the other end.
Please.
She hands over a bundle of letters, and after you book your rooms, I'm going to guess you have a read of them.
Yep.
They are correspondence between Bertrand and a man who simply signs his letters the Master.
Kinky.
I
Bertrand
was about to say that.
appears to have taken after his father in terms of a pursuit of the occult.
Oh, for God's sake.
Except it appears to go way deeper than where Rupert got to.
Great.
In the final letter, Bertrand expresses how his father is dying and he intends to get the artifact that his father has kept from him for so long. He then also states that he will murder his mother
Jesus.
and will travel to Arizona to meet with the Master.
Jesus.
Do we know any of this? Is Nathan?
Nathan, do you share this?
Yeah.
Well.
I knew there was something wrong with that boy.
Yep.
I say
Evil
boy,
fucking
he's
boy.
still 10 years older than me.
Yeah. 2 years younger than me, though. Yeah.
I just thought he had a problem with me sleeping with his father.
I'm sorry, what?
I mean, he probably does. Wait, what?
Whoops.
Pardon me, ma'am. What do you mean?
Don't know what sleeping with someone is. I know you British and you Navy types are a bit, uptight, but even I thought you would have heard of sex.
I take
With a
pride
married
in my
man.
uptightedness. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna be honest, you're in the Navy.
And?
Some shit happens in the Navy.
Can I ask a question, you guys?
Yeah.
Is there any way that alone will get you to go to Arizona for the next campaign?
Honestly, I would probably, seeing as
Nathan's
Just-
down for it.
I would just leave
No.
it.
The implication being that you may have stopped this evil. So
Yeah.
the after you all read the letters, the feeling you get is you may have just stopped an evil, but there is an evil that isn't tied to what you just did, but
Yeah.
it highlights that there are more evils.
As the accountant, now that the wife is dead, it's Mitzi's job to find the other people who could be part of the will. So she will hunt down Bertrand and probably kill him.
Okay, so Harold's reasoning is that his logic mind is saying, look, the authorities will handle it, the police know, there's been an actual murder, they're getting involved. But then his less logical, more kind of gut instinct side is saying, something we've seen today, that just wasn't right, and there's far more to it than just letting the authorities handle it. So I think Harold would be inclined, as much as he hates to do it, he would go to Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, Bertrand's letters also indicate that Bertrand was aware of what was going on at the farmhouse.
Right.
Because he's been there and he searched it in search of the box and whatnot.
I bet he didn't lock the back door. Fuck boy.
That is a very logical thing to make. So do you three decide that you're going to follow him to Arizona?
I guess over
Yeah.
breakfast the next morning.
For accounting reasons, I am duty bound.
Nathan has a strong sense of duty.
Yeah.
Mitzi has a strong sense of
so-
accountancy.
Conversation turns to the best way to get to Arizona. So, well, congratulations, you survived the edge of darkness.
Yeah.
Woo!
Let's see if you can survive the showstopper.
Oh,
Probably not.
Okay, so before Jack, because Jack
I need
has
to
an
rush
engagement.
out. Yeah. Yep.
Jack has an engagement in 5 minutes, so I'm going to quickly go over the things that you guys missed.
Okay.
You were pretty thorough. You got pretty much everything.
Nice.
The other stuff that you could have done, you could have done some deeper research in Miskatonic College itself. So you could have gone to the library there. That would have given you some information on the sarcophagus, the little box.
Okay.
It would have also revealed some occult stuff. What else did you guys miss? You really didn't miss all that much, to be honest.
Great. Right at the start, when we were looking around the house, we all rolled badly on like observation or something. Like
on
the
the
outside
spot
of the house.
hidden.
Yeah.
You would have found if you'd succeeded the spot hidden, you would have found a recently dead raccoon with the like weird melted chest hole that you found on the two bodies.
Yeah. Okay.
Might have been good we didn't see that.
Yeah.
If you'd been a little more polite and successful in the village, you would have found out that a farmer's wife had gone missing. That was the other body.
I tried.
I'm pregnant.
You could have saved Red Jake.
Okay.
If you'd subdued him, you could have taken him into town and handed him over to the local justice of the peace.
God damn, that's I'll cut that one.
I don't feel bad about that one though. He did almost kill my character.
Back to your head. That was
I took 8 hit points.
The thing in the attic is simply called the lurker in the attic.
Is that why you accidentally called him the lurker when you were like, you summoned the lurker?
Firing your guns into the attic would have done nothing because he cannot be harmed by physical weapons.
Yeah.
Great.
And if you had failed to banish him, you would have suffered another sanity loss. He would have been able to leave the house, and he would have killed 3 more people in the local area before leaving Massachusetts forever.
Good thing we didn't fail then.
But other than that, you got everything. Oh, the voice that you heard screaming during around 10 o'clock at night?
Mm-hmm.
That was Red Jake being murdered by the monster.
Yeah, I figured that.
Basically, Red Jake's story was he was squatting in the house. He was nearly killed by the monster.
Yeah.
He barely escaped. The monster then found, killed, and carried off the farmer's wife. Jake hid in the woods that night. He then left. He then snuck back to find his belongings, only to be interrupted by you.
Yeah.
And then he unfortunately dies because unless you kill him or take him to the police, anything else you do, any other thing, he escapes.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
But other than that, you got everything. To be honest,
hey,
cool.
You could have found that Latin text that kept being brought up, but there's not much you get from that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we could, but we're efficient.
Okay, we shall let Jack go. Thank you very, very much for watching the first episode of Fledgling Tales Does Call of Cthulhu. We'll be back maybe slightly later next week. I'm working next Saturday, so we'll let you know on social media. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Jack, Ellie, and Alex for playing. I hope you guys had fun in this new system.
Thank you for being our DM.
And come back to watch the Showstopper, the second adventure, which will take place in Sholo, Arizona.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Bye.